What is up? This is Ahead of the Spread presented by Wager Talk. We're going to check out the two games for tomorrow's play-ins. We have the Miami Heat and the Atlanta Hawks, and we have the Mavericks and the Grizzlies. Before we go into the games, we always recap how we did today. Obviously, no NBA today. I touched on some baseball, went 3-1. So baseball has been really solid right now. 16-4 in the last 20 MLB plays. And then Skee, I know you've been doing really well in tennis, and you touched on some tennis today, right?
Yeah, I took a little slight step back today. 2-2, minus a little bit of juice. So get back to it tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. All right, so we have the NBA games. I'll share my screen here. Sorry, thought I had it up. All right, so we got NBA. Share. All right, so we got the odds logic page here. Um, if you guys want to try this out, you have a link in the description with I think it's a 7-day free trial. You get the live odds. You get you can customize the books that you have here. You got the injuries and alerts. So like I said, try that out with a 7-day free trial. The link is in the description. All right, first game up, we got Miami and Atlanta. Um, this opened up at Atlanta -1. We're now seeing some -1 Miami, some pickums. There's a -1.5 at BetMGM, so it's kind of all over the place. Depending on what you want to bet, make sure you guys line shop. The total opened up at 218. This has come up to as high as 219.5. There is a 218.5 available if you like the over at FanDuel. From an injury perspective, I did pull this earlier. Capella and Nance is out. Jovic and Love questionable for the Heat. Over at themoneyblogger.com, this obviously, so Miami took care of business with the Chicago. Atlanta did lose to Orlando. Skee, what are your initial thoughts on this one? I mean, I feel like Chicago and Atlanta, there are some similarities, but a little bit of differences here, as far as like Miami trying to play Chicago or Atlanta the same way they did Chicago. Orlando also a defensive minded team, so it still seems like it's a offensive team versus defensive team type of matchup. What are your thoughts on this one? You're on mute.
My bad. I agree with the last statement. Offensive team versus defensive team. Um, I do think Atlanta, just players I trust there 1,000% more than I trust for Chicago, though. So,
Mhm.
Trey Young, to be specific, when I see him on one side, I always think they have a chance. Miami, though, tough, and they do this every single year. They're well coached,
Mhm.
really good defensive team. This is one that's a little tougher. I mean, price is pretty much a pick 'em.
Mhm.
I want to back the Hawks just because in situations like this, I like to back who I think is the best player on the floor, and they're at home. I'll lean Hawks.
I actually lean the same way. There's a couple of things that I was thinking about. Obviously, if you look at that Heat game versus Chicago, I mean, Tyler Hero went off, and I think Dyson Daniels will be a solid person to lock him down a little bit. And then after that, everybody else wasn't really that efficient, other than uh, what was the dude off of the bench again? The guard that oh my god, why am I blanking? He went 5 for 5 in that game too. Um, but so I mean, obviously, I think the matchup is a little bit better here in this perspective, and I don't know who's going to be able to stop Trey, like you said. One of the things that I did think about was the 3 point shot. So the Heat shot 37 threes against the Bulls. That's a little bit higher than what we typically see from them as far as like attempts from the 3 point land. The problem is the Bulls allow teams to shoot the three frequently. I think they were like fourth in allowed 3 point from above the break threes. If you look at the Hawks on the other hand, they limit that. They're actually second post All Star break in limiting the above the break threes. So I'm not sure they're going to get all those chances that they did in the last one. I mean, obviously, one of the issues with the Hawks side is that they send opponents to the line a lot. You saw that against Orlando, but the other thing here is the Heat. They don't get to the line a lot ever since Jimmy left. They're 29th in free throw rate since the post All Star break or since after Jimmy left. So a lot of things kind of point towards the Hawks side for me. Obviously, the Heat defense is pretty solid. Their pace is pretty slow. But like I said, like you said, I trust the Hawks a little bit more offensively. I don't know if the Heat are going to be able to shoot like the way they did in that last one. I would actually lean Hawks and also the under in my book. I think the Atlanta team, like I said, I think they have the defensive mindset from the guard perspective with Daniels to limit what the Heat is going to bring to the table. So Hawks and under would be my leans. Anything else on that one?
No, I can agree with an under.
Let's go with the second game here: Dallas and Memphis. Memphis opened -6.5. This has come down to -6 at some places. There are some 6.5 still available. The total 222. This has come down to as low as 220.5. Still some 221.5s available. From an injury perspective, the only thing that is notable is John Morant questionable. From what I saw, he did not practice, but I can't see him missing this game. From over at themoneyballer.com. I mean, we could look at the stats all we want, but for the most part, what I was seeing, what we can see from the Dallas side is how much better defense they play when Anthony Davis is there. Also, I mean, I think when all three bigs are together, Lively, Gafford, Anthony Davis, when they're all available for this Dallas team, uh, they're really tough defensively, especially within the paint. What are your thoughts on this one, Ski?
I agree with you, and the Grizzlies are not tough defensively at all.
Mm,
Um, so just another one, offense versus defense. And not only that, I mean, you have a Mavericks team that so much experience. I mean, Anthony Davis a championship. A lot of these players play at championships. A lot of these
mhm,
players were on this team going to the finals last season versus the Grizzlies team who really young, hasn't really been anywhere, won anything,
mhm.
doesn't have a coach. Mavericks are nothing for me.
Mavericks or nothing. I agree. I agree there. That one of the things that I was looking at right here, I mentioned, how we talked about the bigs being back. Look at where all the shot attempts for the Grizzlies come within the paint. I mean, that's their bread and butter right there. Obviously, they do shoot threes, but I mean, they're not that. This is a post All Star break, not efficient. Their 3-point defense is not that great either. Obviously, with AD and the bigs back, that's going to open things up for for Clay and those guys. So I agree with the Mavs. I also think that, like I said, defensively, I really trust the Mavs side. I also think that their pace of play is going to come down a little bit as they play a little bit bigger. So I'm looking towards the Mavs and the under. Can they slow the grid? Sorry. Yeah. So, anything else on this game here?
Well, when you bet on Dallas, you are betting on, defense. So it makes sense why you liking the under. No, I'm in agreement.
All right. Quick show today. That's two of the games for tomorrow. Obviously, we'll be here through the playoffs. We'll not 100. We're not. I mean, both myself and Skee will be out of town this weekend, so I'm not sure if we will have a show on Sunday. But I'll be back on Monday at least. So if Skee, I don't know if you're going to be out of town through Monday, but at least I'll be back on Monday and we could do a show. With that said, last words and top look, Ski.
Appreciate everybody in the chat. We did have Wham Bam reminding everybody to hit the like button. Definitely helps out the show, and lets people know that we should keep this going. So appreciate y'all in the chat. People help capping these games as well, and just the support for the show. Much appreciated. Top looks, Hawks and Mavericks. Out of the two games we talked about, those are the directions that I would recommend.
Right. So same thing for me. The Hawks, I also lean towards the under. Mavs, and also lean towards the under in that game too. Um, yeah. With that said, guys, I mean, if you guys are interested in any of myself or Skee's packages, we're over at Wager Talk, wt.buzz/HP. For Skee, he has a tennis package. We have the NBA playoffs package. I think there's like a 7-day all access package available for all handicappers over at Wager Talk as well. That will be on the capper page. And then for me, wt.buzz/RC. Again, if you guys are interested in trying out the live odds page, that's the odds logic. The link is in the description. And then the stats, trends, and insights that we don't really look at anymore just because the playoffs is a little bit different. That's over at themoneyballer.com. And also MLB, it has the stats and trends and insights for MLB as well. So if you guys are interested in that stuff, make sure you guys check out that link. All right, with that said, Skee, have a good weekend. Everybody have a good weekend. Good
What you
luck.
got up?
What was
You got
that?
anything up? You got anything on your page?
Right now? I do. I have NBA games for tomorrow, and I have NBA games for Saturday. Um, I do have one also look for Sunday. I'm looking ahead, and I know you got some. I know I watched your show with Vino, and I know you got some series looks.
Yeah, I've already played a few, you know, a few handful of series games, and probably will make some more by tomorrow. I've already played a couple games for Saturday.
Mhm.
Have one on my radar for Sunday, and yeah. So everything up on our page at Wager Talk.
Yes, sir. All right. With that said, that's the end of the show, guys. Um, whether you fade or follow, it is on you to make that call. Good luck with our action. Till next time. Peace.